Okay, welcome to another Tactical Technician video from Diag Nation. And today's video is going to be called Honda Power Mirror Diagnosis with Scope. And it looks like when we think about power mirrors, yeah, it's a simple circuit. It's a lot of switching, a lot of bidirectional motors, and but I think this thing has a great learning value. Um, if you can see, take a look at your schematic, and this is written right from Honda. Factory service information, not on the rewrite on the colored diagrams that are rewritten. This is from the factory, and we're going to learn quite a bit in this situation because we're going to hit a variable that every now and then we encounter. Um, take a snapshot of the schematic. As you can see, this is the at the top is the power mirror switch, and that's where we're going to get all our signals from. We're going to be using 8 channels. And within the power mirror switch is the left-right portion of the switch, the up-down portion of the switch, and I would call the selector portion of the switch, which would depict either the driver's side mirror or the passenger side mirror. So that switch is located in the driver's side door. It's kind of a joystick type toggle switch that if you want to move the driver's side mirror, you switch it over to the driver's side, and then within that you have the up, down, or the left, right option. And of course, then you switch it over to the passenger side and you get, again, the left, right, up, and down option. At the lower portion of the switch is the option whether to, if you want to move the driver's mirror or the passenger mirror. Below that are the motors. Those are in each door, in the driver's door and the passenger door. As you can see there, we have the 2 motors per door. We have an up-down motor and a left-right motor. There is the passenger mirror with the up-down motor and the left-right motor. Real important that you take a still of this entire schematic, because we're going to hit kind of a bump in the road. What I plan to do is I'm going to do this in one scope capture. It's already been done. I won't be changing files. I'm going to do 8 different situations with this setup. The first one is going to be driver up. Then we're going to go back to neutral. As you can look at your schematic, you see that neutral, that mid position of the switch between as we change positions. Okay, as I said, we go driver up, then driver down, then driver left, then driver right, then passenger up, passenger down, passenger left, and passenger right. As you look at the scope, we're going to be using 8 channels. The schematic is taken right from service information for the 2004 Honda Accord. This car is an EX. I called the dealer, gave him the VIN. If you look in Honda service information, or your ALLDATA, your Motor Logic, your Identifix, this is exactly the way the schematic is written for the Honda Accord. So basically we have pin 3, which is a ground. That will be on channel F of the scope. Then we have pin 9, which is on channel A, blue of the scope. And we have pin 7, which is on channel B, red of the scope. We have pin 2, which is on the green channel, channel C of the scope. We have pin 1, which is on channel D, yellow on the scope. And we have pin 10, which is going to be purple. Channels G and H are amp clamps. One amp clamp is coming off of pin 9 with the arrow in the direction of facing away from the power mirror switch. And then channel H burgundy is on pin 7 with the arrow on the amp clamp, of course, pointing away from the power mirror switch. That's going to be important because we're going to hit a snag in the road. We're going to see sometimes we can run into bad information. And to this moment right now, as I'm speaking, I still don't know what the total fix on this or what happened. We're going to see some oddities along the way. So I will show you the 8 scope captures, as I said, as I listed it right here. I will put you to the scope now, and then we'll take each one. We'll go through each one, and we'll explain. Let's get set up on the scope. Okay. Get a good angle. Sorry for the delay, folks. Okay. There we can see, you can see some still right there. I'll roll it back and explain every situation we're in, and we'll try to get this video in one shot. But nonetheless, take a real good look as you watch each scope capture. Take a real good look at your schematic. Keep that by your side, and it'll explain. This is going to get a little complicated in this circuit because we're dealing with a lot of wires, a lot of circuitry. So there we go. We can see the first capture. I'll explain. Take a look at your schematic, and we're going to start out with the driver's side power mirror right here. That is this right here. This is our driver's side power mirror going up. So take a look at where your each channel is hooked to, and if as we move the driver's side mirror switch to the driver's side, and then we move up, take a look at your switches. You're gonna come in, and you're gonna go through the fuse at the top of the schematic. It's an ignition on feed through the top. It's gonna come in and it's go to the up down portion of the power mirror switch, in through the up pin. The up latch will latch, then it will come down. It'll come down, and the driver's side portion of the switch will be latched. And in theory, it's supposed to come out pin 9, and pin 9 would be a high voltage. It would come down through pin 9, through the driver's side mirror to the up-down motor, through the up-down motor, out, up, through pin 2. So pin 2 should be ground. It'll come up through the driver's latch, come up to the up-down switch. It will latch at the up portion of the up-down switch and then go to ground. Follow it out through the switch, through that through the ground lead at pin 3 and onto ground where the gray terminal is testing. But now we'll take a look at what happened when I put the scope to it. Okay, we got some weirdness going on here. The opposite, the green is high and the blue is low. So there's something about this schematic and this car. The car is stock. Nothing's ever been done to the switch. I checked each pin. I looked at the connector and service information. All the pins and the colors are in the right holes in the connector. But for some reason, we got a little opposite game going on here. So in your mind, we're going to have to do like a mental switch for now of pin 2 and pin 9, and it may get even more complicated. Nevertheless, sometimes these things do happen when we're troubleshooting a car, and this could be kind of, a little confusing. So nonetheless, our first situation with the driver mirror going up, we're high on green. Our ground is blue, that is low. Our red is low, our purple is low, and we see current on the orange channel, which is going in the opposite direction from the way it's set up on the wire. So that means the current is flowing toward pin 9 on its way to ground. And as I said, I cannot explain that. It's just something we may have to deal with when we're doing diagnosis. But anyway, we did like a mental switch on 9 and 2 there. And so I'm going to go to the next situation. That is driver's side mirror down. Take a look at your power mirror switch. Your up-down latch, we go to down, we latch to the down, and so we come in on the fuse, we come through the top bar, down to the end of the schematic to we latch on down, and then we come down, and we come down to the mirror select switch to driver, and we come out on pin 2, which is green. So in theory, green should be a high voltage. As it comes down to and goes up to the up-down motor, and then it comes out on blue. It comes through the motor, and then it grounds through pin 9, through the driver latch, up to the down latch, and out to ground. But take a look at this. Take a look at your schematic. It's acting weird again. We got to do that mental switch between 9 and 2 again, as you can see. And take a look at our current. Our current is sort of flowing like it is in the schematic. But in theory, it's flowing the opposite way. So that's just one of those things about service information that we may deal with a situation where we're not getting, there's some inconsistency with the car and our setup, and we're just gonna have to see and deal with it. I just wanna take this time to talk about the other channels in the second situation. We're still on the driver's down situation, and we know that blue and green, one's high, one's low, and those are kind of flipped because of the situation. The current is flowing through the motor right here. We're high on red, we're high on purple, and we're high on yellow, and there's a reason for that. Take a look at your schematic and look where the current flows into the motor. It's flowing through the top, through the down latch, over to the driver latch, out on green, which is really, green is the new blue, but I don't want to get too confusing, but nonetheless, we're out on green, and then we go through the up-down motor, and then we're back grounding through pin 9, through the driver, through the down latch. But take a look at those three channels, the red, the purple, and the yellow. Look where the scope lead is and what's happening there. Those three leads are picking off the voltage that's sort of available to them. There's not going to be any current flowing, but nonetheless, the voltage is available and it's going through the motors. So just take a look at your schematic, and you'll be able to trace wherever there's a conductive path. The voltage will find its way to that scope lead. So I don't want to pick up each individual one, but if you take the time to look at the schematic, you will see that. It may go through two motors on its way there, but it's going to get there. Motors that are not turning are pretty much like a conductive wire. They don't have any resistance. There's no counter electromotive force, and nonetheless, you'll see that it'll make sense as you follow the schematic and to each of those wires. So that's the yellow, the purple, and the red. So the third situation we're going to encounter, that is driver's side mirror to the left. So back at your schematic, we want to latch the left-right portion of the switch. We latch it left. We come in through the left. We come down to the driver. We come out on pin 9, which is blue. And this time our blue is high. And that would make sense. We come out 9, and our current is flowing as in the schematic in the direction through the clamp. That's why it's north of 0. Through the left-right motor, out up to pin 10 purple, which is going to be low, which is a ground, and then up through pin 10, up through the left portion of the left-right of the power mirror switch onto ground. So this one's behaving normal, so we can kind of infer that this one isn't affected by the inconsistency in the wiring diagram. So the red is behaving normal. The red is going to be ground, is picking off ground, and the purple is also picking off ground, as you can see as you look at your schematic. And the current is flowing as illustrated in the schematic. Our yellow is, what is yellow doing? Yellow is picking off ground too. So if you follow look where the yellow lead is, it would be on the ground side of the circuit. So our fourth situation would be the driver's side mirror turning it to the right. So let's go back to, let's bring this guy down, and we will latch the right latch of the power mirror switch. We come in, we through the right latch, out to through pin 10. So our purple is going to be high. That's where our voltage feed is, right there. We're high there. We come out through pin 10, through down to the splice, then we go across to the driver's mirror, and we go down to the left-right motor. We go through the motor, out through the clamp, and the clamp is going negative because the current's going in the opposite direction of the arrow, up to pin 9, which is going to be ground, through the driver latch, up to the right latch, off to ground. So this one's pretty much behaving kind of normal. The green is picking off ground. the blue is ground, the yellow is picking off, looks like voltage. If you look at the yellow lead, it comes down. Let's talk about the yellow lead. It'll make more sense. Just go back through the circuit, trace the circuit. We are on driver's side mirror going to the right. We come in through the top. We latch on the right terminal. We come down through pin 10 is a hot feed. That is high voltage, as you can see in purple. Down through the splice, across over to the driver's mirror, through the left-right motor, up, and then we come up to ground through pin 9. Look where where the yellow test lead is. That's as the voltage comes through at that splice, it will find its way down to the passenger motor mirrors, up through the left-right motor, up, and then it's going to go through the up-down motor, up, and the yellow lead's going to pick it up. It's just because there's a conductive path to that test lead. So if you take the time to follow the schematic, that'll make more sense to you. We are going to end this video, this portion of the video. We'll come back and do the passenger side, the 4 situations with the passenger side mirror in a part 2. Thanks for watching.